Hello everybody, this is Gregory with Permanent Weight Loss Made Easy, where there should be no hesitance in your weight loss and in your weight maintenance. Today we're going to continue the series on ultra-processed foods and talk about cookies. Now before we begin, if you need help with the weight loss, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. Just check out my website, which has hundreds of articles and recipes, my books, which you can find on Amazon, my podcast, The Cinema Rag, which is about movies, and The Awakened Man, which is very health related, on Apple and Spotify. And lastly, if you appreciate my content, there's a link for PayPal. All right, so this is, I think, the 5th edition of Ultra Processed Foods. We're just going through the middle aisle foods. I recommend that you go back and watch the past ones. We just did the most recent one on cereals and breakfast items. Today we're going to focus on cookies. Cookies are no different. Like I've talked about in, I think, the inaugural episode of this one, how the large majority of ultra processed foods have 4 basic ingredients. They're going to have some sort of sweetener, some sort of emulsifier that keeps everything together. Typically it's a genetically modified oil like canola oil or soybean oil. It's going to have some sort of preservative, because how can those foods stay fresh for months? And then some sort of food dye to make it look pretty. And we don't really think about this, right? We don't think like gas stations. Gas stations don't make a profit and stay in business because of the gas. They barely make a profit on the gas because of all the taxes. They make the profit off of you going in and getting that $2 Twix bar or whatever it is. And they know that. Those foods don't get bad. They don't get bad. They can have them on the shelf forever. So when you look at cookies, whether it be soft batch, Chips Ahoy, peanut flavored, double stuff, there's so many wide variety, macaroons, there's a wide variety of these cookies, but they're all, again, just corn-based sweeteners, flour, which is the crap part of wheat, the cheap part of wheat, and then the aforementioned stuff. So you're getting lots of calories, but minimal to no nutrition in any of the packaged cookies. And you could say the same thing about cookies that you make at home. Now, if you're going to make cookies, definitely make your own, use a recipe from scratch, because you can control the ingredients. So instead of buying Chips Ahoy, which of course won't taste as good as cookies you make at home, Chips Ahoy is going to use the cheapest sweeteners and the cheapest preservatives and all this garbage. You make them at home. Like when I make cookies, what do? I'm going to use at least dark chocolate chips. I'm going to put a little chia seeds. I'm going to put a little cinnamon. I'm going to use pastured eggs, right? I'm going to use better quality ingredients because I'm controlling the ingredients. Whereas if you're buying middle aisle grocery store food, it's not going to be nutrient dense, and it's going to have the worst ingredients, because that's where they make the money from, right? Using the crappiest ingredients. It's kind of like you see with people with alcohol, like at bars and stuff, where they'll get like half the alcohol bottle, let's say a vodka tequila bottle, they'll get half of it poured in another bottle and then fill up the rest with water in each of them to dilute it, right? Because alcohol is expensive. You pour with water, you dilute it. It's the same thing. They're not using high quality ingredients once it comes to the cookies. And concomitant to the cookies, right next to the cookies in the same aisle, are going to be what? Crackers. So whether it be Goldfish, whether it be Cheez-Its, it's the same thing. What's in there? Flour, food dyes, preservatives, fake processed cheese. Again, it's all ultra processed crap. This is the reason why obesity is the biggest it's ever been, is because we're eating a lot of foods that they intentionally will make addictive. They put in ingredients that make them addictive. They put in ingredients to hit the bliss point, so we get hooked on them. They're readily available. They don't get bad. They taste good, but ultimately they're very high in calories. And most people aren't doing what we used to do in the 1980s, which is like get a chicken breast on a scale and weigh it, get your beans in a cup and weigh it. Most people aren't doing that. We're just mindlessly grazing on these foods. Next thing we know, we've had 5,000 calories in a given day because we're eating all these ultra processed foods, whether they be frozen or cereals or chips or whatever it is, muffins, cookies. That's why we're gaining weight. It's because these foods give us lots of calories, but they're not giving us any nutrition, so you're going to get hungry later on. And of course it leads to, long term, when you eat this kind of standard American diet, it's going to lead to what? Vitamin and mineral deficiencies, and it's eventually going to lead to disease. So in closing, guys, when it comes to cookies, when it comes to this middle aisle of cookies and crackers, limit them. And if you're gonna eat these things, even though it might take you a little longer, make them from scratch. It's always better to make them from scratch. And you can make crackers from scratch. You can make Cheez-Its and baked crackers and stuff from scratch. We have recipes actually at Naturopathic Earth on how to do this. So again, care about your health, care about your children's health. Guys, post in the comments. I love to hear from you. Hit the notification, subscribe, and share button if you haven't done so already. And again, if you need help with weight loss, please let me know, because I've lost over 100 pounds and kept it off since 1991. Until next time, take care.